Welcome back to another recording of the Elevate Media Podcast. I'm Chris Anderson, your host. And today we're going to get into a cool story of someone who was in the corporate world for more than 30 years. And then she realized she needed to take a different direction. And so we're super excited to dive into her story. My guest today is Nancy Dillingham Marks. And like I said, after more than 30 years in the corporate world, she took a single glass art class and she doubted whether or not she had any artistic talent at all. But what followed was a creative awakening that really changed everything for her. She's now the founder of the Glass Arts Collective, which is a space for creativity, healing, and community. Her journey is just one of reinvention, resilience, and learning to embrace the imperfect beauty in art and in life. So you guys are going to love this conversation. You're going to take a lot out of it. So Nancy, welcome to the Elevate Media Podcast today.
Oh, Chris, I'm so excited to be here.
Absolutely. And this is pretty cool. I don't believe in coincidences or anything, but this conversation comes at a great time when we're recording this. Yesterday was my wife's and I's 9th anniversary.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah. And so 9 years, when I'm looking at gifts or traditions, clay and pottery kind of is, the traditional gift or thing that you give someone for this anniversary. And so we both had the same idea of like, hey, let's go throw clay. Let's go try our hand at creating pottery, which is not the easiest thing to do. So we learned hands-on yesterday just how you can take imperfections, creating something, and make it actually into, a piece of art. So what a timely and cool connection here now with this episode even more. But do you remember the exact moment when you're in that corporate world, in that corporate space, and you're like, yeah, something is about to change. I'm about to take a whole different direction.
Well, I knew, I was coming to retirement age.
Yeah.
So I knew there was going to be a change in direction. And I was really kind of getting tired of corporations being eaten up by another corporation and the products you're representing were no longer available because it was discontinued by the new company and things like that just kept happening. And it was happening more and more. And I was like, okay, this is really a sign. This is like, okay, something's really going on for me. Yeah. So I started looking at alternatives. My dad used to quote all the time a professor he had that said, always have a hobby. All through your life, have a hobby or two, have something. Because when you retire, that's not the time to start hobbies.
Yeah, that's right.
And I never really came up with something that I was really passionate about. I enjoyed photography. I enjoyed travel. I enjoy helping people. And it took me a while to realize that one, but that's okay. But those, they never really okay, that's what I'm going to do after I retire. And so what ended up happening is my last corporate job was actually working for my husband's smaller corporation. Right. And I was sales and operations, which I was for most of the companies I was in. And I became the chief operating officer for my skills and my capabilities that I already had from all these other corporations. And I learned some stuff as well along the way. And he was ready to retire before I was. Okay, that's fair. And he sold our company. I knew it was coming. And again, what am I going to do? And at the same time, on a separate path, my parents had relocated from Massachusetts to be out here so that I could help them in their later years, which was an incredible gift. Yeah. And the location they were at was an assisted living facility, and someone came on site, was teaching a thing called fused glass. And my mom was so excited. And I'm like, oh my gosh, here's something I can do with mom, something different. She used to love to read murder mysteries written by women. Glad she had that. Glad she enjoyed it. It wasn't my thing in any way, shape, or form. And so I said, here's going to be something I can really do with her. Yeah. And so I took a class, and I have to admit, I did it begrudgingly because I really didn't think I had that knack for crafts and doing creative things. And it was like, I dragged my feet. I was a child, I can't believe as I look back how ridiculous I was. But my mindset, I changed it and said, you know what? It doesn't matter whether I'm good at it or not. I'm doing this for mom. And that's all it took for me to go book the class, take the class, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I wasn't hook, line, and sinker yet, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And my mom's 81st birthday was coming up. And so Dad and I talked. I said, why don't we take her to the new studio in town that does fused glass? I said, she can invite some of her friends from the assisted living facility. We'll keep it small, but do something really special that she enjoys so much. And it's different. He's like, oh my gosh, great idea. And so he did. And the manager at that location lit me up. The energy of the studio, her passion, her compassion, everything was just clicking perfectly. And my mom had the best time. Her friends had the best time. And so did I. And all of a sudden, there was a fire lit.
Yeah.
And I got hooked.
That's awesome. It's so cool how, like, again, not coincidences, but just the happenstances that open doors that you might not have seen coming. So what was that like? I mean, so you got that kind of spark from this, and is that what kind of finally pushed you to leave the corporate space, or is there anything in between before kind of taking that step?
Well, it's really because my husband was selling the company, and he ultimately did soon afterwards.
Okay.
And so we had to, help the transition and that type of thing.
Yeah.
And my time requirement to do that was very low. They really didn't need or want much of my assistance, which is okay. And so I was playing at the studio. I was having the time of my life. I was helping, I did all kinds of silly things. I'm always a helper. When I see a need, I jump in.
Yeah.
And so I was helping fill the jars with the crushed glass. I was helping sweep the floor and, just doing little things that could help out because it was one person managing this place. And,
Wow.
and she had a lot on her plate.
Yeah.
And I had free time. And then the owner was from another location.
Okay.
I decided to close the branch here.
Oh.
That was earth-shattering for me.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to do. My husband's first reaction was, well, you can't have the garage. Thanks, honey. And it's like, but what am I going to do? He goes, well, you love this fused glass thing. He goes, I haven't seen you this passionate about anything for a long time. And I've always still loved travel. Don't get me wrong. I still love that.
Yeah.
But it was like, I have to do something. I can't not be doing glass. It just is a therapy for me that I didn't know I needed. I didn't know the joy that could come from doing things with my hands and creating things that are beautiful. And yes, embracing those imperfections as well.
Yeah, for sure. That's cool. So when you took that leap, did you reach out to the owner and say, hey, can we take this over from you? Or did you just start from scratch your own studio?
I did not take over with that manager, that owner. I had a different vision on the way a studio should be run.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm.
And that's okay. So, and my husband was very supportive. He's like, you know how to run a business. You've been running mine for years. You do all the accounting, or you had someone doing it. Different times I was doing it. Otherwise I was managing it.
Yep.
And I knew how to do inventory control, not necessarily to the level I needed here, but that's okay. And scaling up was easier than I thought it would be. Yeah. I know how to manage people. Yep. I know how to work with customers. I understand customer service very well. And so it was like, the one thing I didn't really know was marketing.
Okay. Yeah.
And especially marketing something that is so different. When I worked for my husband's company and the other company, I worked for IBM, I worked for ABC, I worked for Toshiba, I worked for a lot of big companies. They did all the marketing. Okay, so I just had a name drop and people knew what I was talking about. Yeah. Now all of a sudden I'm talking about something no one understands what I'm talking about. And so I started taking classes. I started trying things. If it didn't work, I didn't beat myself up. I just tried something else. If this doesn't work, try this. And, maybe at a different time, that'll work. Okay, And it was no anger at myself at all for any of it. It was always, I got to learn. I got to figure it out. So I opened my own corporation. I took over their space, which I really liked the space, which is the space I'm in right now.
Yeah.
But the thing I wasn't forecasting was 5 weeks after I opened the doors, COVID hit.
Oh, yeah.
And California shut down.
Oh, it did. Yep.
So big mind shift
Yeah.
and big thing of stress and fear and self-doubt and imposter syndrome. I mean, you name all of the things that probably most entrepreneurs have had. I think they all ran through me in one foul big swoop. My business plan was, I hadn't been doing Fused Glass that long, was to bring in other instructors to help teach until I was stronger, because I can run a business. I can bring people in to teach.
Yep.
It's hard to bring somebody in to run your business when it's a unique business.
Right.
So I sort of took a major deep breath and did another mindset and said to myself, I was a single mom for a lot of time, my life. And I was like, you know what? I always wished I had more free time. I said that out loud to the universe. I don't know how many times. Let me look at this as a gift. I now have time, and I have something I want to do in that time, which is learn my craft even better.
Yeah. So
And
during the COVID time, is that what you did? You kind of leaned into just learning the craft until things kind of opened up where you could have business, or did you shift to some sort of different model where you could still have revenue come in despite the constraints of COVID?
There really wasn't a lot of models I could do. Because no one knew I existed, you can't really open up a site. My skills weren't that strong, or I didn't feel they were. I've been teased that my skills were much stronger in glass than I thought they were after just my first year. But I took the time to really learn my craft. There's a lot of wonderful instructors who teach online, and they've got their studios set up to do that. They have the environment with the lighting and the camera work and the editing and all that great stuff. That I don't do as well. So it was like, okay, I'm going to take this time. And then we had pockets that would open up. So retail opened up, and I have a retail shop in the front. So I opened for retail. And so people would stop by because they were just looking for something. They could get out of their house. They were just looking for something. And they looked at the whole studio, which is much bigger than the size of the gift shop. And we started talking like, what's the whole studio for? Well, I'm going to be teaching classes. Oh, what are you going to teach in? And so as we started to be able to open up, I started to have people interested in learning more. And so I started offering the introductory classes that I could teach. And people were so excited.
Yeah.
The mental health benefits during COVID, to have some place where you had a sanctuary that you could be relaxed, feel safe. Everyone had their own tools to use. The glass was separated for everyone. Mm-hmm. So no one was they sat further away than even a restaurant. And so it was even safer. And so I kept looking at, okay, here's the bigger picture. How do I incorporate that into my little world here? And how do I take care of people?
Yeah.
And
I like that.
Yeah.
So with that, like, you're having these people finally come in. I'm sure that was a huge, great feeling for you. But, what did you see, or how have you seen glass that, kind of initiates like healing or like that meditative state for you, or even, your clients? What have you had response-wise in that aspect?
Huge.
Yeah.
And in fact, I realized it for myself, but it didn't click, if that makes sense.
Sure.
I could tell that is very healing for me. I did much better during COVID than most people. Okay. I mean, forget the financial worries, because I knew that was going to turn around. Mm-hmm. I could breathe. I could accept that I couldn't go do a lot of other things. And that was okay, because I could come here. Yeah. I could play here. I could have fun here. And then I ended up having a couple of nurses come in. Okay. And they started to really talk to me about the therapeutic benefits for them. And how it was changing how they felt, because they came in so stressed out. And when they left, the stress was dramatically reduced. And they knew it was temporary. You can't keep that, for long when you have to go back into the grind of their world outside of the studio. But they came in because they knew it helped. There's something about working with the glass, the colors, the energy, being able to design something that can be abstract or can be structured. Yeah. And it's very comfortable. You're not squeezing hard. You're not trying to manipulate like you did with the clay, whether you're doing it on a wheel or you have to roll it out. It's not messy. Your fingers aren't, full of clay and stuff under your nails.
Right.
Your hands don't have to be super strong. So it really has such a difference. I mean, most people know blown glass and they think about a 2,000 degree furnace and it's hot and you have to keep moving all the time.
Right.
Stained glass, you're working with foil and you have to have your cutting down pretty well or being really good at grinding. And standing in front of a grinder for a length of time, for some people is therapeutic. It's not for me, but I do give it. Some people that's huge for them.
Yeah.
And just sitting in comfortable environment, whether we have the doors open, I have a big roll-up door in the back, and we have the air go through. We have music playing and conversation. And slowly but surely, a community was built.
That's awesome.
Like-minded people who just enjoyed doing something that made them happy.
Yeah. Can you explain the process of what they're actually doing with the glass for people who might not understand?
Absolutely. One of my favorite topics.
Yeah.
So basically, our first class is an introduction class where I teach techniques. So the technique in the first one is really learning the safety around glass and how to break glass and do it the way you'd like in a straight line. There's a separate class for circles and curves and that kind of thing. And then you take a base piece of glass and you're going to put the pieces that you are breaking onto that little tiny bit of glue because I want to carry it to a kiln. And the kilns are like ceramic kilns, but the heating elements are in slightly different areas.
Okay.
And we heat it up between 14 and 1500 degrees, and that fuses the glass together. So it becomes like a really thick molten honey. So it softens up and it fixes us a little imperfections. It fixes the little gaps, things that you couldn't do in stained glass easily.
Okay.
And you don't have to worry about the heat. That's done totally separate from everybody else.
Yeah.
Nobody's here. I run them at night when the electricity rates are lower.
Right.
And, we come in the morning. It's like Christmas morning as we open a kiln and anyone's here. It's like everybody rushes to know when I'm going to open the kilns because it's like Christmas morning to see the beauty of these different pieces have been created.
That's neat. So basically it becomes one sort of sheet, a piece of art after you put all these pieces down.
Yes.
Okay. And I like that. Go ahead.
Here's a little sample. It doesn't show as quite as well. This is a plant stake. I glue the stake on afterwards. Yeah. But I took the pieces and I just glued them on. And this is a simple project.
That's really cool.
You can take it into so many different, let me see if I can't quite get it really great with the light, but you can take into so many different directions. Yeah. And some people are going to put squares on. Some people are going to put flowers on. Some people are going to, I had someone do a Wizard of Oz scene with the Yellow Brick Road. And the joy of watching other people be creative has got to be one of the greatest gifts I get out of the studio.
Yeah, I bet. It's so neat too, because, I see it. People are taking all these different pieces, that separately don't look like much, look like something that should be discarded, thrown away. Right. But they're bringing it together and creating something beautiful. But to do that, they have to take the broken pieces and they have to manipulate them, put them where they want them. And it has to be heated. And it takes time through that heat to then create something beautiful. And I think it kind of is a great metaphor for life, right? We've all got broken pieces and we're trying to put it all together. And there are moments where we have to just wait and go through the fire, go through that hard time, and something beautiful will come out on the other end if we're able to kind of recognize that. And I think that's just really cool and what art can do as we're creating things.
Oh, Chris, you're absolutely right. And in this particular case, on this little piece, someone had made fish. And so all the little triangles were actually leftovers. Somebody else would have called them trash. And I made beautiful flowers out of it. And I told her I was going to do something with all the pieces because she was a little embarrassed. She goes, "Oh my God, I'm just wasting all this glass." I said, "There is no glass wasted. Everything is used." The only thing I really throw out is the little glue stick and the little cup that the glue gets put into. That's about it. Everything else is reused. And it's so much fun when somebody will have a piece that they'll just get upset about because it's like, "Oh my gosh, look at this. I couldn't use it." And I'm like, "That's okay. somebody else is going to think that's the most incredible piece that they could use. And it happens over and over again where somebody goes, oh my God, this is the perfect piece for me.
Yeah.
And in the back of my mind, I just want to giggle and call the person that said it was, it wasn't worth anything.
Right.
And it's like somebody else loved that piece that you didn't use.
That's so cool. Yeah, I just love that metaphorical kind of vision you can kind of see with life in that. And it's so neat how, discarded pieces by someone is the perfect thing for someone else. And I also love, you mentioned at the beginning, you've had kind of doubts about being artistic or having, skill in it. What helped you kind of push through that imposter syndrome, that doubt, to be able to start teaching this for others?
Well, it's funny. I didn't have a problem teaching it.
Okay.
I had no doubt that I could teach it and help other people.
Okay.
But that didn't mean I felt I was as good.
Okay. Yeah.
And I think what helped me was during my process of reinventing myself in my studio as it was opening up. Initially, I was the only one that had things in the gift shop. During COVID, I made a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So my gift shop had a bunch of stuff in it, which was awesome.
Yeah.
But I have a program called Open Studio, and that's for people who already know the techniques, and they come in and make what they want. And they were making beautiful pieces because a lot of these people have been doing art of different types for a long time. Fuse glass was new to them.
Okay.
And their personalities, their ideas were all just coming out in these incredible pieces. And most of the glass is food safe. So they're making bowls and platters and trays, and they're excited to give it to people. But they get to a point where they have more glass than they had friends. And so I was like, you know what? This is crazy. I have a gift shop. These people are supporting me on a regular basis with this program. I need to do something more for them.
Yeah.
So I opened up the gift shop for them as well. And I just thought their pieces were incredible. And to get back to your kind of question of getting over my imposter syndrome, people were coming in and picking a lot of my stuff.
Oh, cool.
And I was looking at them, look at the different pieces, because I'm always fascinated at what catches somebody's eye.
Mm-hmm.
And they would get drawn back to mine. And I'd be so excited when they came up to me and said, this is the one I want to get. And I'm like, I made that. And they're going, oh my God, this is just so beautiful. They might tell me the person they're going to give it to, or if they want to keep it, or what, spoke to them about it. They're going to put it on the desk in their office. So they're going to put it in, on the counter in the kitchen. What are they going to use it for? They're telling me all these things.
Yeah.
And I'm just beaming. I mean, I just like floating on a cloud, just like, this is really cool.
Absolutely.
And it took several of those, more than it should have, for me to say, you know what, I'm pretty good at this.
Yeah. And that's cool that you're able to say that, because sometimes, we just continually stay in the imposter syndrome and we don't like to see the growth and see the possibility that we're doing as entrepreneurs, as people out there trying to make a difference. And so I think it's a great thing to remember, is like to look at what we're able to do and look at the growth and look at the ones we have helped and the ones who have gotten good things, because we can continually compare ourselves to where we want to be. We'll always be discouraged. And I think, being able to recognize like, hey, I have improved, or hey, I have that skill, I have that strength, and it's improved and it's helping someone, is a great thing to practice, because otherwise you're just always on the negative kind of, and always, why not more sort of thing.
Absolutely. In our community, we have various judge shows where you have to have your piece approved, and then it goes into a show, and then it's judged for, best of show and
Sure.
places and different categories. And I had already been recognized for my business by the Chamber of Commerce, the local city that I'm in, and LA County.
Cool.
So I have these different recognitions for my business being a good community member.
Yeah.
And now I decided finally I'm going to enter one of those shows.
Awesome.
I didn't do it right away. Again, even though I knew my stuff was good, was it good enough? And I thought, you know what? Of course I'm going to enter a show. Why have I been, blocking this idea?
Yep.
And I came in second place.
Oh, that's awesome.
And they didn't have a second place. I got a honorable mention, but
Okay.
I had a fairy garden that I built, and it was totally different from what most people think of as glass art, because it's 3-dimensional, which I love doing, and it's different. And so I figured if nothing else, people are going to learn that fused glass is pretty fascinating.
Yeah.
And so it did both.
Yeah. That's fantastic. And I love that, you just took that chance. And I think that's what, as entrepreneurs, like we have to just kind of take that chance and, you know, see where we can improve, see, the outcome, because you never know if you don't try. Putting
Exactly.
yourself out there, despite the fear or the imposter syndrome or whatnot, it just has to be done. People have to know what you do. They have to see what you do. And if we always hide behind the curtain and never put that out there, there can be no growth.
Exactly. Chris, you just nailed it again. I mean, I hope people are really listening because you have got such gems of wisdom.
I appreciate that. And with that too, like it goes to like the creativity aspect of it. We just threw clay for our anniversary. You're doing, this glass fusion projects. There's so many other creative outlets out there and people go to and they love it. And they get, like you said, the therapeutic side, that meditative side, that release of stress through it. Why do you think people stay away from the creative side? These creative, hobbies. Why do people not lean into their creative side more? Why do you think this is such a cool experience for people? Because it's so unique.
I think people are just afraid. They're afraid that they're going to get judged.
Okay.
And I have to tell you, we judge ourselves more than anyone else would ever judge us. And we judge ourselves negatively more than anyone else ever would.
Yeah.
I looked up the word art for the fun of it. And there is not a very clear definition of what art is.
Right.
And so I think part of it also is people, and I think I fell into this bucket as well, is I was doing creative things. I just didn't think it was art.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was a creative outlet.
Yeah.
And so it's sort of stepping out of a box. This is what creative is. This is what art is.
Yeah.
And accepting if you're doing something that you enjoy, that is creative.
Yeah.
Probably more than you even think. But people also think that it takes a lot of time to set things up. I was talking to someone once and they used to love to doodle. They just would doodle and it would be relaxing for them. And they're telling me this. And I said, so are you doing it all the time? Well, no. Why not? I don't have the time.
Yep.
I said, you're going to tell me that you can't even find 5 minutes to doodle. Yeah. And they looked at me like I was crazy. And I said, piece of paper, pen, pencil. It could be a newspaper that you're writing over something. Oh yeah, no, people don't have newspapers anymore. Right. I purposely made a joke out of it because it breaks that thought process up all of a sudden.
Right.
And he goes, oh yeah, no, I could find 5 minutes. I said, okay. So if I were to say, can you find 5 minutes twice a week?
Yeah.
He's like, well, of course I could. And I said, okay, so do it.
Yep.
And he looked at me like I was crazy and it just clicked. All of a sudden you could see the facial expression kind of go from, you're a weird lady to, oh, wait a minute. I can do my doodling again.
Yeah. It's such an interesting, because I used to do it all the time. I used to draw and I've constantly told people like, I haven't done that in a long time. I just don't have the time. And I always tell people too, like, no, it's not that you don't have the time. It's you're not prioritizing whatever that is in your schedule. We all have the same time. It's just what do you prioritize? And I think it's important to prioritize your hobby or something, an outlet like that. I mean, obviously there's working out that I try to prioritize, but something else like creative wise, whether that be, just spending time in nature and seeing that, or, doing the artistic stuff. I think it goes back to seeing the benefit of it and like spending an hour a week in that creative state is not going to completely dismantle and derail your business growth. It actually probably will improve it because you're going to have the stress relief and that creative flow start to be more and more present.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with pivoting. I mean, if I see something that's not working as well as I think it should be here, I'll pivot. Yeah. I'll try something new. If it doesn't work, I'll try something else.
Yep.
It's okay to say, you know what? This didn't work.
Right.
And that's okay. At least I tried it. Now I don't have that on the back of my mind. Well, I should have.
Yep.
I hate that.
I just heard this the other day and it kind of reminds me of these type of conversations about like hobbies and enjoyment of life. And they said, there should only be 2 people in your life that you should worry about pleasing or, doing well for. And they said it was your 8-year-old self would they look at your life and what you've built and be super excited and happy with what you're doing and how you're living? So would it be enjoyable to them? And then your 80-year-old self. So would they look back at what you've done, what you've accomplished, who you've helped, what you've enjoyed and experienced in life and feel like it was a life, well lived? Or would they look at it and be like, wow, you're just focusing so much on business that you've missed everything else good in life? And I thought that was really profound. Like, it shouldn't matter what anyone says besides those two people of your own personal self to help you make the choices, of what you do in your life, because life is short, your time is unknown. And so why not make those two people happy with what you're doing with your life?
Exactly. And the other thing of it is I had so many friends that were so encouraging to me. I know people could have said to me, and maybe they were thinking, how in the world can you open your own business with only doing it for a year? Why in the world would you do that?
Yeah.
I didn't have anybody say that to me.
Yep.
And if they did, I probably would have wanted to do it even more so. Just to prove them wrong.
I am.
But support is, and again, community comes in many forms and flavors. And I think that I've been involved with community much more than I ever thought I was. I didn't realize the importance. I don't have to be here by myself.
Yeah.
Whether I was a single parent or married to this wonderful man that I'm married to now.
Yep.
It's, I am very blessed. And I can tell you that heaven forbid my life were to end in the near future.
Right.
I have lived one hell of a life.
Yeah.
And I am so excited about it.
That's awesome. And that's what it should be. Yeah. Have you done everything? Have you experienced what you wanted to experience the best of your ability? That way there's no regrets, right?
Absolutely. And I have a bucket list.
Yeah.
But it's not really a bucket list that I have to do before I pass. It's things I'd still like to do.
Sure.
And if I can get to them, great. If I can't, that's okay, because I've done so much of what I've always wanted to accomplish, plus far beyond my imagination. And so everybody laughs because I just have this really positive attitude and I'm really happy. And they're like, how can you be so happy? There's so many things happening out in the world. And you know what? I can't live worried about all these other things.
Yep.
I can worry about me and my immediate environment and do the best I can to make that safe and happy and a great place to be.
Absolutely. I love that. And it's what you focus on. And I think just having that joy and just focusing on what gives you more of it and how you can give that joy to other people, I think is the ultimate thing. So, with that, as we're wrapping up, this has been a great conversation, Nancy. I've super enjoyed this and appreciate you sharing and excited for what you're doing. But what's the thing you hope people take away when they walk out of your studio?
I hope they take away joy and they take away the idea that they are creative. Because I hear so many people say the same thing that I used to say. I'm not creative. I can't draw a stick figure. I can't color within the lines.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it doesn't matter. You don't have to. And they just look at me. I said, I can't either. I can't draw out what I want to do. Mm-hmm. I just kind of go with the flow. Yeah. And I find it's fun. It doesn't matter whether I come in with an idea or not. You put a bunch of glass in front of me, I'm going to find something to do with it. And that brings me so much joy. And I'm glad it does for other people, because that's what they're happening. They walk in without having an idea what to do, and it just comes to them. Yeah.
I love that. That's so good. And, being in the corporate world like you were for 30 years in business, we focus on, ROIs, we focus on metrics, we focus on KPIs, all these things to measure success of the business, right? So for you now, what does success look like?
People keep coming back. People are telling other people. Word of mouth is spreading. Yeah. People are finding out about the studio, not because of true marketing, traditional marketing, I guess I should say, because word of mouth has always been the best. Sure. But the joy that people come in and tell me about it, and people buying gift cards so they can share the joy with someone else. Yeah. Birthday parties, team building sessions. I mean, they just all come in, and then not everyone can come in. And so you can buy a gift on our gift shop and be able to send it to someone, and we'll do custom work. So, I mean, it's like we can accommodate so many things for people to help make them be able to give a gift that's not mass produced. It's one of a kind, made with love. And I haven't had a single person ever say someone didn't like something because they've asked me, what's the return policy? What if they don't like it? And they said, well, first off, that's not going to be an issue. You know them. They're going to like it, but they're welcome to bring it back if they really don't.
That's awesome. That's really cool. I love that. And yeah, I don't see why people would not like it. So that's really neat. So last question, I'd love to get your kind of guidance for people on this. If someone's listening today and they feel like they've lost their spark, even in business, trying to grow their business, or maybe their creative voice, they're trying to, put that out there, what would you tell them?
One of the biggest things would be that, are you enjoying your job? Are you enjoying what you're doing? And if you're not, you need to find that ability within what you're doing. And it could be that you're bogged down with something like the accounting and you hate accounting. Outsource it.
Yep.
Don't be afraid. Don't let that ego say you have to do everything.
Right.
Find the part of your joy that brought you into wanting to do what you're doing in your business.
Yeah.
And focus on that and outsource the rest.
Yeah. No, I love it. It's right. Spot on. And until then, try to see the silver linings, try to see the positive that's within it, and know that you're getting to that point to be able to outsource and delegate those things. And so Nancy, again, this has been a great conversation. Love talking about creativity and, the beauty that can come from broken pieces. And in business, it's the same thing. You have ups and downs, you have things that don't go as planned or as good as you thought, but we can still pick up those pieces and then tweak and shape things to be beautiful going forward. So it's been a great conversation. Thanks again so much for being on the Elevate Media podcast today. If people want to connect with you, learn more about what you're doing, maybe buy something from the gift shop, where's the best place for them to connect with you?
At glassartscollective.com. It's my website, the Instagram handle, the YouTube handle, the Facebook handle.
Yeah.
And the gift shop is part of my website. So if I'm going to do marketing, I'm going to market for the site, the classes, everything all in one place.
Awesome. So yeah, everyone, make sure you go get connected, support her. Just check out what they're doing. Some beautiful pieces. And again, Nancy, thanks again for being on the show today.
Thanks, Chris. This has been so much fun.
Absolutely. Yeah. And if you're listening to this and you know someone who's maybe struggling, trying to figure out and get that creative spark back, share this episode with them so we can help more people together. And if you haven't yet, go follow the show. That just helps us keep doing this and be able to get in front of more people to make a bigger impact in the world. But until next time, continue to go out there, elevate your life, elevate your brand, and we'll talk to you again soon.